All right, y'all. I am still an extremely depressed Dallas Mavericks fan. I will say that. But I think I might be a fan of both of these teams now, to be fair, because I was already a big Bron fan. It's my second favorite player in the league after Luka. So I think I'm a fan of both teams now. Maybe I'm a fan of neither teams. Maybe I'm just not a fan of basketball anymore. I don't really know. But I'm going to try my best to, for the most part, I promise I'm not going to succeed all the way, but I'm going to try my best to take emotions out of it and talk about this trade basically from the Lakers' point of view and what the thought process is, what this means for this season and what this means for the future for the Lakers. And then later today, I'm basically going to make this same video for the Mavs. And that's kind of where I am right now. I think those are going to be the only two videos for today. Obviously last night I dropped a video of my first reactions to this trade. I'm mind boggled. Go watch that video. I have no words as a Mavs fan. Now as a I don't know fan, I have no words. But I mean, look, that's a Luka poster, y'all. All of my graphics are like Mavs related, Luka related. Like I got to get a new everything done. I truly have no words for y'all. Like that's the honest truth. But that's beside the point. In today's video, I want to talk about what the Lakers roster looks like now and what their options are, basically going forward, as well as the thought process for the future. The thought process for the future is incredibly simple. Luka Doncic is 25 and he's listed as 6'6". He's not 6'6". I get he's overweight. He's probably going to see this and this disrespect from the Mavs though and get in incredible shape. I would not be surprised at all if by the end of the season, especially by next season, Luka's in the best shape of his life. He's going to be a world beating player. I mean, he already is a top 3 to 5 player in the sport. Last season, I think you had a serious argument. He was the best player in the world. He made the finals while being injured, was the best player on the finals team. Believe it or not, I mean, I know the finals, they lost in 5, but it was decently competitive against a Celtics team that was way better than them, than the Mavs. And I mean, like the Lakers just got a core generational franchise player for the next decade. He is the guy to build around. The question now becomes the rotation around him for this season, because long-term it's simple. JJ Redick now has his long-term centerpiece piece. Rob Pelinka just pulled off the greatest heist in the history of the league. In long-term, it's obvious because LeBron's 40. He's not going to play for that much longer anyway. The short-term is where things are baffling because the roster right now, as it's constructed, is not a roster that is really particularly well constructed to win. Luka and LeBron, I actually think, me personally, could work a lot better than a lot of people, other people probably think. When you have two guys who are that incredible of basketball minds and that skilled of players in general, like they're both good shooters. I think they can both be off the ball pretty well, especially with LeBron's improvement over the last couple of years as a shooter. I think it can work. The question is everything else, because you have Luka, LeBron, you have two ball handling dominant offensive pieces like that, right? But then you have Austin Reeves, who almost doesn't feel like he fits anymore, because what's his role? Dalton Connect, who like a great shooter, doesn't play enough defense to fit next to Luka or LeBron either. You know what I'm saying? And I've very much been of the opinion that Luka's an underrated defender. He's not a great defender though, by any means. And LeBron is a very bad defender at this point in his career, like 90% of the time. So the wings don't make sense for this team. They don't have a defensive guard at all. Trading Max Christie obviously takes that piece of this roster away. And I mean, you look at their bigs, their only real big is Jackson Hayes, and then I guess Trey Jemison and Maxi Kleber, who's not a big. I mean, Christian Wood, when he gets healthy, maybe. But none of those guys are guys you really count on as your playoff caliber big. So that becomes the first question is, who's the big? Now, your wings are still pretty good. You have Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, obviously LeBron. Like, you're fine on the wings, the 3s and the 4s. It's the 5 spot that's confusing to me, and then the guards, because you don't have that point of attack defensive guard. Now, you have a couple of bigger point of attack defenders in Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Vanderbilt, but it still doesn't totally make sense. And it's like, this team, first of all, Austin Reeves on a great contract definitely feels like the guy now who, like, they probably move, because his trade value is going to be really high. And the fact that they managed to get Luka without giving up both of their first round picks and Reeves in addition to AD is absurd. I mean, the Mavs could have gotten such a bigger package than the package that they did get for Luka, which is, again, it's a kick. Like I said this on stream earlier, it feels like getting kicked in the nuts like 46 times as a Mavs fan is what this trade feels like. I think that's a pretty accurate description for the way I feel, because like this is horrible. But it reunites Luka and Dorian Finney-Smith, who have great chemistry. Luka and LeBron, I truly think can work. even if it is only a short-term thing for this season. Now, could LeBron get traded? Absolutely. At this point, as I make this video, anything can happen. This is what this trade has taught me and should teach all of us, is that anything, and I mean anything, can happen. But as is, to me, in my brain, the logic is Austin Reeves and a first-round pick has to get you a point of attack defensive guard and a center. Who is that point of attack defensive guard and a center? I'm not totally sure at this point, because it's going to be hard to get both in the same package, probably, because I think like Walker Kessler, but who's the point of attack defender you're getting from the Jazz? Is it a big multi-team trade? Like, what's the strategy at this point? I don't know. Herb Jones isn't probably available and he's injured anyway. And it's just like, I'm sure there's other guys and I'm sure something's going to happen, but it feels like this is very much not a finished roster, because if it is, they don't have a real playoff big. They're defensively very weird on the perimeter. They're going to struggle as rebounding. Like it's a very weird, very unique, very confusing team, obviously. But I don't know. When you have the opportunity to grab a franchise altering star like Luka Doncic, who can legitimately carry a bad team far, like he's done before, you have to do it, right? And I think if you're JJ Redick, he loves Luka. You just got your centerpiece in the biggest market in the NBA for the next decade plus. Like, if you long-term for the Lakers, this trade is, I believe, incredible. The only way it's not is if Luka's conditioning were to legitimately get worse and to the point where it actually affects his play significantly, which it never really has. But if it were, or if he just like winds up having massive long-term injury issues. Those are the only two ways in which this trade I feel like winds up being a loss for the Lakers. But as of right now, it does certainly complicate things for their roster, and it makes things confusing for a team that has been playing really, really good defense. I mean, I made a video earlier tonight. I'm recording this video Saturday night. I made a video earlier tonight on the Lakers before this trade happened, and basically I was talking about how good they've been defensively in the last 20-something games. They're the fourth best defensive team since they were 12-11. Now they're 28-19. So in their last 8, 16, 24 games, they're the fourth best defensive team in basketball in terms of defensive rating. In their last 10, they're top 3. I mean, they have legitimately been an elite level basketball team recently. And it's been because of an elite defense and a solid offense. Now, the offense should be amazing. The defense, as of right now with this roster, I don't see it. And the rebounding's not there. I mean, they just traded for Maxi Kleber. First of all, he's hurt. And he's not good anyway. So that's a no for him as a big. Jackson Hayes, is that your center? I guess he has to be. Christian Wood, still injured, and I don't trust him at all. Christian Koloko, I don't trust him at all. Trey Jemison, no. Like, they don't have a big, and they do not have a point of attack defensive wing, or guard, I should say. They have multiple wings, but is Cam Reddish your closest thing to a point of attack defensive guard at this point? Like, this roster doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's an unbelievable deal, and it's an unbelievable fleece for the Lakers, plain and simple. So what happens now, I don't know. I think it revolves around some sort of Austin Reeves and first round pick trade or trades or something. We'll see if those happen this year. We'll see if they try to ride this out. I don't think this is a championship roster as it's currently constructed, despite having LeBron and Luka. It just doesn't make sense. But long term, this trade is awesome for the Lakers. For the Mavs, that's a whole other question, and I'll address that in a different video. And yeah, I don't know what to say, y'all. I'm honestly not sure, but here we are, I guess. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.